Hi everyone, thank you for watching. I want to share a very special experience about something amazing that happened to me. It's an experience that changed my life forever. In 1990, Jesus revealed himself to me in a way I never expected. He told me, "I am going to take you to a place and show you a mystery. What I show you will be the truth, and you must share it with the world. It's about the religion of Islam." What he showed me are what Muslim kept it hidden for years and never wanted the world to know about their faith. It's of how he opened my eyes to see things that changed the way I looked at my life, my family, and my faith. I hope you'll stay with me and listen as I tell you everything that happened. All that I will be revealing is the absolute truth concerning what I saw. Nothing did I add of my own or omit. I pray you listen to the end. My name is Rajuda Muhammad. One day in 1990, the Lord spoke to me. He said, "I will show you a mystery and reveal the truth. What I show you, you must share with the world." I didn't know what to expect, but I trusted him. Suddenly, the Lord lifted me up, and in the blink of an eye, we traveled to Mecca. But instead of landing in the city, we stopped in a mountainous region. There were large hills everywhere, and I was curious. I asked the Lord, "Master, you said we were going to Mecca, so why are we here with these hills?" The Lord looked at me and said, "These are the hills where Muhammad was visited, but not by angels, by two spirits." When I heard this, I was confused and asked him more questions. The Lord explained that Muhammad was not worshipping the true God, but a false one. He told me, demons visited Muhammad in these hills and gave him the Quran. When I heard this, I was surprised. I had always thought that Muhammad was visited by angels, but the Lord said that wasn't true. He told me, Muhammad was not worshipping me, the true God. He was worshipping a false God. These words shocked me. As the Lord spoke, I felt so sad. My heart broke because I had been following something I thought was true, but it wasn't. I realized that all the prayers, all the beliefs, and all the practices I had known were not leading me to the real God. I couldn't believe what I was hearing, but I knew the Lord was showing me the truth. He said, "My daughter, I brought you here to see this so you can understand. Muhammad did not know me, and what he was given did not come from me." The Lord then took me to another place. He said, "I want to show you something important." Suddenly, I was standing before an open grave. The Lord pointed to it and said, "This is Muhammad's tomb." The Lord explained, "This is the grave of Muhammad's body, but his soul is not here. His soul is in hell." When I heard this, my heart sank. I didn't fully understand what hell was, but I could feel the seriousness of what the Lord was saying. As I stood there, I realized how far I had been from the truth. I thought about the many people who still believed in Muhammad's teachings, and my heart was heavy for them. But the Lord's word stayed with me. He was showing me the truth, and I knew I had to listen. Then the Lord took me to Mecca. I was amazed at how big and beautiful the city was. Everything looked so grand, especially the area around the Kaaba. It felt overwhelming to see the place where so many people come to pray. The Lord said, "This is where your parents and many others come to worship, but this is not our final destination. There's something I need to show you." As the Lord led me deeper into the place where the water flowed, we came to a dark cave. The air felt heavy, and I could sense that something strange was about to happen. The Lord pointed toward the cave and said, "Look carefully." At first, I didn't see anything unusual, but then, my eyes were opened to a shocking vision. Inside the cave, I saw a huge chameleon demon. Its skin kept changing colors, and its eyes moved in all directions as if it could see everything. It gave off a strange, creepy feeling. The Lord said, "This creature hides here, deceiving people into thinking this water is blessed. But its true purpose is to mislead them." As I stared at the chameleon, another creature appeared behind it, a giant two-headed python. It was massive and had glowing red eyes that looked straight at me. Each head moved separately, as if it had two minds. The Lord explained, "This python represents the power of deception and destruction that controls this place. People believe they are finding blessings, but they are being drawn into lies." The Lord then told me it was time to leave the cave. As we walked away, I kept thinking about what I had seen and how important it was to stay close to God's truth. This experience stayed in my heart as a reminder that not everything that looks good or holy is from God. The Lord brought me to a place where I could see the Kaaba clearly. As I stood there, I felt my feet leave the ground. I was hovering. It felt strange but peaceful, like the Lord was holding me up so I could see everything from above. From this view, the Kaaba looked so different. It wasn't just a building. It seemed like something was hiding beneath it. Jesus then pointed to the ground under the Kaaba and said, "Look closely." As I looked, I saw a huge serpent coiled underneath the Kaaba. Its body was thick, and it wore a crown on its head, shining with gold and jewels. Jesus explained, "This serpent is the god that people unknowingly worship here. It pretends to be holy but is full of lies and deceit." I was shocked to hear this. Many people came to the Kaaba, thinking they were worshiping God, but they were being tricked by this crowned serpent. Jesus told me to remember what I saw so I could share the truth with others. As I stood there, staring at the serpent beneath the Kaaba, it suddenly spoke. Its voice was deep and filled with a strange mix of pride and anger. "Why are you here?" it hissed. "This is my domain, and the people who come here belong to me." I froze for a moment, but then I remembered that Jesus was with me. The serpent continued, boasting about how it had deceived many into worshiping it. "They bring me their prayers, their sacrifices, and even their families," it said, with a wicked grin. Jesus then revealed something that shocked me. He showed me visions of families who had unknowingly offered their loved ones in spiritual sacrifices, tying themselves to the serpent through generations. I also saw images of people trapped in spiritual marriages, bound to this evil being without even knowing it. Jesus said, "This is why so many feel trapped and helpless. But I have come to set them free." Hearing this filled me with hope and courage. I knew that the serpent's lies would not stand against the truth of Jesus. The serpent, sensing my resistance, tried to tempt me. It spoke of treasures beyond imagination, things I had never seen or even dreamed of. "I can give you power," it said, "wealth and control over the world. All the leaders of nations will bow before you. The riches of the earth, the skies, and even the deep sea are yours to command." The serpent showed me visions of vast treasures, piles of gold, jewels, and treasures hidden in secret places, waiting for me to claim them. Its voice was smooth and convincing, but I could feel its darkness, and I knew that it was trying to deceive me. Then, it showed me even stranger things, hidden worlds beneath the earth, deep in the sea, and high in the sky. It spoke of kingdoms and realms far beyond what I could understand, all under its control. It tried to make me feel small, like the only way to gain power and knowledge was to follow it. All these worlds will bow to you, it promised. You can rule over them all, if you just accept me as your master. But deep in my heart, I knew that none of these promises could compare to the truth and freedom that Jesus had shown me. In the vision, the serpent had been furious when I refused to accept its control over me, and I soon realized that the violence and chaos that followed in Mecca were linked to my encounter with this dark being. As the serpent's rage escalated, it caused destruction in the physical world, which manifested as the deadly stampede. The serpent had tried to strike me, but instead, its anger led to the tragic loss of many lives, as pilgrims gathered around the Kaaba. The stampede was not a coincidence, but a result of the spiritual battle I had witnessed. It was as though the serpent's fury spilled over into reality, claiming the lives of innocent people. When the Lord had finished showing me everything, He told me I had a choice to make. I could either continue to follow the path that my parents had set for me, or I could choose to follow Him. It was a difficult moment, and my heart was heavy with the decision I had to make. But the Lord reassured me that He would be with me no matter what. His presence was so strong, and I knew deep in my heart that He was the true God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I chose to follow Jesus, trusting that His love and power would lead me on a new path. The Lord assured me that I would be protected and guided, that no matter the struggles, He would never leave me. The time came for me to let go of the Lord's garment, a symbol of my commitment to follow Him. As I did, I felt a deep sense of peace and purpose fill me. I was no longer the person I had been before, and I knew that a new chapter of my life was beginning. The Lord told me it was time to leave my parents' house, just like He had called Abraham to leave his home. I wasn't sure what awaited me, but I trusted that the Lord would be with me every step of the way. Leaving my parents was a hard decision, but I knew I was following God's calling for my life. As I walked away from my old life, I felt a sense of freedom and courage, knowing that the Lord would protect me and guide me through whatever lay ahead. This experience is not just mine, it's a call to everyone to recognize the true God. Many people follow paths they don't fully understand, thinking they're on the right track. But only in knowing Jesus Christ can we find the truth and the way to eternal life. I invite you, just like I had to choose, to seek the truth and come to know the one true God. He is the one who loves you, protects you, and will guide you through every part of life, just as He did for me.